up, y'all? Welcome to the Multifaceted Minute. And that song right there, yeah, baby. If you don't know that song, you did not have a great childhood. I'm just messing up. But at the same time, you didn't grow up listening to this. Let me tell you something, brother. There's about to be a change here in wrestling. And that change is going to be the New World Order. Me, the one and only Hulk Hogan with the pythons. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. We're going to take over. And things are going to be different right here in WCW. Hey, if you didn't grow up off of that, all right, you're missing something. And like, so that's when Hulk Hogan became the bad guy. And wrestling was like the bomb because you had WCW competing against WWE. And I mean, it was like the peak of wrestling entertainment. I mean, it was hilarious. It was great. You had a lot of great rivals. You had a lot of fun things going on. But man, that was the good old days right there. So if you remember that, salute to all the Hulkamaniacs out there and the New World Order fans too. All right, guys. Hey, starting off right here. We're gonna start off. Y'all know we always do our motivational moment. That is the part of the Multifaceted podcast here, baby. But my name is Reggie Harris. I always introduce myself. Soon I'm going to start having guests, and I'm going to be introducing them. But as we get ready to roll on into the show here, I just want to tell you guys, check out my website, www.harrismultifaceted.com, and let me know if you need a motivational speaker that uses a holistic approach to solving problems and helping motivate and encourage people to a better life. Need some life coaching? Holla at your boy. Need some business consulting? Holla at your boy. And if I can't help you, guess what? I will point you in a direction where I can. I mean, where you can get the right help that you need. You need some help with some emotional intelligence? Need some help with personality stuff? Yeah, I might can help you with all that stuff. All right? All right, guys. So here on our motivational moment, I'm going to give you 10 things that can change your dynamic of how you live your life. And I'm going to summarize these as Reggie's 10 actions to living a dynamic life. So Reggie's 10 actions of living a dynamic life. Okay? So if you want a more dynamic life, let's look. All right, we're going to start with number 1. Wake up early or be productive late, but get sleep. The reason why this is important is this. You like some people, they function great. I have 2 days a week where I get up at 4:25. The other days I sleep in. But I've learned to get sleep somewhere. Well, sometimes some days I take naps, then some days I sleep in longer. And then, I get that amount of sleep that I need. I make sure I do that. I take that time for myself and I rest and I relax and I do things for me. So I want you guys to make sure you guys understand that it's so important. It is so, so important that if you don't wake up early, and if you're more of a productive person late, and what I mean by be productive late, don't just stay up late watching TV. See, that's where a lot of us make our mistake at. We be sitting up on the phone, watching TV. Man, at least be doing some work, some planning, some organizing, writing down your list, getting yourself organized for the week, doing little things like that. That's number 1. Number 2 goes hand in hand with number 1. Watch less TV. Maybe it's because I have ADHD. I cannot watch, like a lot of people, man, they can sit down and watch a whole day. And maybe that's therapeutic. That is therapeutic for some people. They can binge off on Netflix or whatever, Hulu, or whatever it is, a whole entire day. Now, if that is your therapy, fine. But don't let your therapy become a crutch where you don't get any productivity done. Because you're in a life where you do have to live. I know everybody say, and it is, and this is a very healthy thing to do. The grind, embrace the grind, but don't over worship the grind. Don't make it, but also don't over worship the rest too. Because there's an opposite end of that spectrum in which you're so caught up in that, oh, I got to get rest, or I'm here and I don't want to be bothered with nobody, that eventually you don't get much done. And then you have an expectation of things to have everything you want and everything you need with minimum effort. Life just doesn't work that way. Doesn't. Number 3, move more. Work out. Do something. Get your body moving. It ain't number 30 minutes 3 times a week. I tell people to start there. If you go to the gym, there are cheap gyms all over the place. Go there and walk on a treadmill. Go there and do the elliptical. 30 minutes. That's all. Get in your car. Go drive, do those things. Go to a park. The summers have actually cooled out. I'm like, man, it's, we had that big, strong heat wave, but it's actually the mornings and the nights and the evenings are perfect. Go take a 30-minute walk. Do an hour. Do something. A lot of times people think, oh, I got to have an hour and a half to go work out. No, you do not. Being active. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator. It's little things like that. Taking the long way. If you're at work and the place that you're going to eat at is a half a mile away, walk. And especially if the weather's nice and you ain't got on your, like if you're not gonna get super sweaty, just walk. Just do the little things. Move, stretch. Wake up in the morning, do your 15-minute stretch routine. Something. Because especially when you do that in the morning, it really does set the day in line. It's okay to do it in the evening too, or middle of the day, whenever you have time. But when you do it in the morning, you work out, you get some type of movement in the morning, gets oxygen to the brain. You also, the eyes see the light, and it's set your circadian rhythms. And so you're able to go to bed at a decent hour because now your eyes and everything, taking in that light, being able to get outside or, getting the blood flow early in the morning helps the brain function better throughout the day. And it helps with mood too. So movement, if you want to have a better mood, get some movement too, all right? Next, create routines. Now, I have ADHD, and I'm going to say it again. And I have inattentiveness and hyperactivity mixed together. I move better in freedom, but I also move good with routine too. I live in both dualities. There are certain parts of my life where there are certain things that are routine, where I don't have to think about them. And give you an example, like in my closet, my closet is organized by colors and what, like I got t-shirts in this place, underwear in this place, but then everything else is kind of color coordinated. So I know where to go while I'm not thinking. My morning routine is usually the exact same thing. I wake up, my alarm is always Little John, baby. All right. So I start out with Throw It Up. That's let's go every morning. So you probably can tell I'm single because of that. Like, I don't think, I think it might change whenever I get somebody sleeping in the bed with me. But as far as right now, that's my routine. I wake up, immediately go to the restroom, do that, go in the kitchen, mix up my amino acids. Well, I drink water first. So first thing I enter into my body after I brush my teeth, wash my face, drink me some water. Then, because I get well hydrated. And then right after I do my water, I mix my amino acid supplement with some spirulina and some maca root. And then, hey, I'm good. And then after that, drink me a cup of coffee. And then I'm ready to go. And then I get into my day, whatever I'm doing. And so those are like my routines. Same thing sometime in the evening. I have those things that I don't even think about. But then also too, I operate in freedom. I operate in ambiguity. So I like operating in ambiguity too because it allows my brain to think. But also too, I have like very organized stuff in my house and how I organize when I cook and different stuff like that. Because that routine helps me to not overcomplicate things. Next, create goals. You got to create goals. You got to create what I would say, maybe not even goals. I would say landmarks, all right, or check-ins, or accountability measurements. See what I'm saying right there? You can call them whatever you want to call them. I do like the name accountability measurements. That is something that I've been using more of myself, accountability measurements, because accountability is everything. Even though I do like to live in ambiguity and in the gray, I have a lot of things that I keep myself accountable to in order to balance myself out and make sure that I am growing and being dynamic and understanding my purpose and knowing that I'm walking in that purpose every day. Next, create a reward system. Man, you got to reward yourself. A lot of people, you spend most of the time rewarding other people for good stuff they do, but you don't even spend time caring about yourself and rewarding yourself for good things you're doing. Plan yourself a vacation and work towards it. Plan yourself a night out. I'm a very strict eater. I eat majority plant-based, more vegan-based than anything. So I don't necessarily call myself a 100% vegan. I tell people I'm about 85% vegan. Because if I go to a coastline, if I take a vacation, I usually like to indulge in seafood. I also, every now and then, I'll indulge in some Popeye chicken. Or when I go home to visit my family, I don't ask my mom to cook any differently. I don't ask my family to cook any different. They grill, and I'm eating what's coming off the grill. So, even though I do have those little spurts like that, and I love sweets, that's another thing about me too. I don't eat sweets out there every meal. The sweets are my reward system after I know that I've done the right things. I've worked out. I've taken care of myself mentally. I've got my probiotics in me. I've done the right things eating wise, and now I can reward myself with that. I don't do liquid calories hardly. I don't do any of that. And so I give myself that reward system for being disciplined. Next, number 7, create boundaries and say no. It is okay to say no. Oftentimes I tell people this is so crazy, man. Like when I ask people questions, I know with my big personality and who I am, and sometimes I can be over the top, I can be overwhelming. And if somebody tells me no, I don't get mad at them. Now, because of the way I'm wired, I might go extreme and might not say anything else to them, but I have not lost any love for them. I haven't lost any respect for them, anything like that. My whole thing is that, okay, whatever it is about my personality or whatever like that, I'm okay with people drawing boundaries on me. I do it for myself. I do it with other people. I do it with other things. If I need to rest, I'm going to rest. Because there's a balance. You have to learn that balance of saying no. You can't be a yes ma'am all the time. You also, like, even when you, and I always tell people this, even let's take it into friendship dynamics and even, work dynamics. If you're constantly telling people how good they are, even when you disagree with them, you're doing them a disservice. Even as an employee, if you're at work, at a job, and you're constantly saying, oh yeah, everything's perfect, and you're not telling your supervisor or whoever else what you need and drawing those boundaries and saying this, my mama always said, people ride a free horse to death. But as a horse, the horse do have a choice to let that person get up on them. But most of the time, if that horse is tired, he gonna buck you. He's not gonna do, or they're just gonna let you get on and they're gonna stop. Not gonna do anything. Because that horse is trying to tell you, I'm tired. I don't want you on me. Next, create agendas, use planners, and make a list. Now, this goes hand in hand with the routines and creating goals. But number 8 is actually the applicable part of writing that down. Okay? So write it down. Use planners. Write that down. There's a correlation scientifically between the handwriting and the brain. The brain actually makes note of what you're doing with your body. Okay? The phone is good, but writing stuff down gets you a lot more productivity and help you live more dynamic. Number 9, get tics out of your life. I did a post on that the other day. Anything that is holding you from your peace, your emotional stability, your emotional health, your mental stability, and your mental health, you probably need to drop it. The ultimate goal of any dynamic is mutualism. And mutualism means that both parties benefit. You're not using that party, you're not getting over on that party, and that party is not getting over on you. And it is okay, going back to number 7, of drawing that boundary. Drawing that boundary, releasing the tics, whether it's habits, lifestyles, maybe it's even perceptions of yourself. Maybe it's your own attitude. Your attitude can be a tic on you. Your attitude can be something that holds you back. And then next, find balance of your finances, your mental health, your physical health, and your emotional health. Find a balance. You can't be too extreme on neither one of these. If you're so always talking about finances all the time, you're going to lose the humanistic aspect, and the only thing that's going to move you is money and materialism. And understand, when you die and pass away, somebody else is going to be left to fight over that. Or whoever you left it to is going to enjoy it more than you do. That is a sobering experience when you think about it. You earn all this power, you earn all this money, you earn all this stuff, and guess what? You didn't even really enjoy it. And then the other part of it, if you're lazy and be like, well, I just want to just live free, well, don't expect for people to take care of you because you want to live off the grid. Or, don't expect not to pay taxes. Don't expect, complaining about everything in the society that requires us to pay. Well, get out, earn you some money. Next, mental health. You can't be so caught up like when we talk about mental health here. You can't be creating mental health problems so that you can excuse your toxic behavior. Seen people do that. Be accountable. Or you can't ignore mental health issues and things that is not like that you probably need help talking through, that you need help doing, and say, well, it's just the way I'm wired. Both extremes are toxic. Physical health. This is a big one. A lot of times people be like, well, God gonna heal me, or I'm just gonna enjoy my life. But you got high blood pressure. You can barely get up. You can't sleep at night. Or you unhealthy. Your insides are messing up. You don't have energy. And you don't care about that? And then you're wondering why you're in a bad mood all the time? All of that is connected. Every last bit of it is connected. If you don't feel good physically, emotionally, and mentally, you're not going to be good anyway. Like your probiotics in your gut. If you're eating right foods and stuff like that, it helps with your mood. That is science. That is basic science. They teach you that. They teach you that. That is science. And if you want to go, you can go on Google and research all the studies that have been done with gut health, eating right, and how it helps your mind too. Now, that's not all the time the case. You might have to go and get some medication, etc. Okay? So, our motivational moment took us about 20 minutes here, a little bit longer. But this was a big one today, all right, on this pod. Now we're going to jump, and that's what I covered here. So that had to do with health. So, we usually go from motivational moment into health. This was the combination of the two. So you kind of got the health aspect done here, and I hope that blesses you guys. Those top 10 ways of being more dynamic and living your life to its fullest, okay? Now we're going to get into the news. couple things with the news here, man. Um, insulin's supposed to be going down. So y'all look that up, man, and that is going to be so great. For all my diabetics out there, man, salute to you all. I know it's a struggle, and and I hope you guys, man, I hope you guys are ecstatic about cheaper insulin prices, and I'm glad that the government is finally doing something about that. Also, electric vehicle tax credit is coming up. Gas prices have dropped, and that is wonderful. We still have the lowest in the world, which is great. Also, man, be mindful of hate. I'm not saying that it's a hate crime or anything going on, but 3 Muslims were murdered in 10 days in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that is sad. I look at when you look and you take a look at that dynamic, man, is that people hating people just because of the way that they are. Now, I tell people just like this: religion has caused a lot of wars. Religion has caused a lot of people to suffer, a lot of people to struggle. It has also been good for people too. But at the same time, whenever you allow a religion or a thought process to control how you feel about people, something's wrong. If you need a religion or maybe, like I said, a thought, political party, any kind of clique, gender, race, anything to feel like if I'm this, I'm better than that person, you are in a sad state because your identity is found in instead of you actually discovering your identity, because that's what I feel like the journey of life is. You experience life to discover who you are, what you love, your purpose, and things that make you happy. And that's why you do those things. That's why you live life. You make mistakes, you hurt, you go through pain, you develop, you do all these things. But when it comes down to it, if you allow yourself to be identified by something else and it makes you hurt somebody and it makes you hate somebody because, oh, they believe this way, they think this way. And my ultimate goal, my ultimate filter, not goal, but my ultimate filter is what this person doing, does it hurt me or does it hurt somebody else? If it hurts somebody else, I'm going to do my best to try to be and model what I want people to do and to be. Modeling is the best part of that. It's the most efficient thing that you can do is model what you expect others to be. Next news, what was really hot was the Brittany Griner thing. There are people that are out here just speaking out about that. I'm like, here's the thing, that's Russia. You go into another country, you have to follow the rules. I hate this for Brittany and her family. Like, that is a scary situation. And I hope everything works out. But there's also a teacher, a male teacher that got caught in Russia, and he got 14 years. We don't hear about that because he's a regular guy that's a teacher. And he had the same thing. He had weed, and it was a small amount. And same thing. BG got taken to trial for, and it's a different country. I'm not saying that is right. That is not a justification. But also, too, when you understand politics and dynamics of politics, the American government is doing the best that they can. They're in constant talks and negotiations. They have people over there and Russia has people over here too, and they're talking, they're negotiating, they're trying to come with a reasonable solution for everything. And I'm not here to question Russia. I'm not here to say that they're right. I'm not here to say that they're wrong, even though I might actually believe that they're wrong on this one. But they're not America. That's not the rules there. And so, if somebody come over here with something illegal, well, you expect our government to handle it accordingly, but also expect our government to do the right thing by that person too. But there's different code, morals, and ethics when you go into another land, per se. And that those moral codes, you know, people live by different moral codes. And I think sometimes that hurts other people, which I also feel that I wish they could change that. I wish the powers that be over there would change it. But it also, too, is a responsibility of us if we're going into a situation. My mama always said this. She said, if you got your hand in the mouth of a lion, you know your hand is in the mouth of that lion. You can't pull it out fast because it's going to chomp down and bite it off. You got to ease it out. And I get it now what she was talking about. I know that's a weird analogy, but it is very profound in situations like that, because if I'm in a situation, I can't do anything in that situation that will make that thing act natural. In its natural instinct, that lion natural instinct is to attack. So I have to use that other thing that my mama say. She would always say, be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. Everybody perceive a dove to be nice, harmless, beautiful little bird that flies and is beautiful and is magical and magnificent, and serpents to be unseen, cunning. You have to be wise, because snakes, because they walk on they own their belly. Snakes usually try to get in and get out. It's the way they are. They don't want no part of you, and we don't usually want a part of them. So that's the thing with that there. Next, I'm going to talk about a funny sports story. And I love talking about sports stories. I remember in high school, and this is our sports part here, football season is coming up. So when football season is coming up, man, I'm going to be doing some analysis on some games, talking about some hot football stories, talk about one more thing here at the end of this too. But I want to tell a funny story about rest well, Mr. Robert Dale. Love you, brother. Man, this dude was one of the fastest dudes in our high school. He ran track, but he didn't have very good hands, so we moved him to running back. And he couldn't run inside because he was just a straight runner. And we had set this play up for him. It's a toss sweep. Oh man! And back at the time, your boy right here. See, I always had heart. You know what I'm saying? I played center at the time. So my job was, I was going to snap the ball and pull around. We was going to seal block everything. We was going to get that. And then I was going to, get out there and, kick the first guy I saw out or seal the linebacker that was coming on him. We had ran a perfect little fake. Man, we got the toss out there to Robert Dale. And the light was shining from the light. Friday Night Lights, woo, shined him in the face. And he fumbled the ball. I'm out here running. I'm like, man, I found the safe guy, hit that guy. And I'm like, man, but green gray, I know he's going for a touchdown. Big time fumble back there in the backfield. Robert Dale get to the sideline. Robert Dale said, Coach, I swear I saw an angel. So the light reflected on his face was, in his mind, was an angel that made him drop the ball. And our coach, oh man, it was so funny. He wanted to cuss him out, but he just started, everybody just kind of started laughing when he said it. But I wanted to end today's, with that sports topic there. The first part, the motivational moment, kind of was a culmination of everything there. And guys, as I close out the pod here, I want to say I love you, as my mom would say, and there's nothing you can do about it.